Before I start this video, I just want to say welcome to the NFL, Henry Black. What an outstanding play, clutch play made, where he comes in on his probably on his first play of the season, pops the receiver, the ball goes out, the ball goes 20 feet into the air, and then gets recovered by Adrian Amos to seal the win. Those are the type of plays that this defense has sorely lacked and certainly needed, and it couldn't have come at a better time to seal the win today for the Green Bay Packers as they take this game 35-20 in Houston in really the quintessential bounce back, get right game after a brutal shellacking by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers imposed by their championship caliber defense. So we're back on the winning column again, 5-1 and tied for first currently in the NFC North with the Chicago Bears, who have yet to take on their opponent for a Monday night game. So I will be watching that and cheering on the opposing team with gusto. And that would be the Los Angeles Rams. So this was a really good game performance by both offense and defensively. Sure, it could have been cleaner on both sides, but the offense definitely played pretty well, as expected. This Houston defense just is not a very good defense. They were especially weak in the run game, as we know that going into this game, and that was kind of expected. What was unexpected was missing Aaron Jones for this game with a calf injury, who apparently suffered some kind of a little bit of a minor injury in practice, and then he was ruled questionable, and then he was kind of like almost maybe a game time decision, but then he was ruled out yesterday, and that's how things went. And I was thinking that, okay, it's fine because the Texans don't have a very good run defense. I think Jamaal can fill in well, and he did. He got 19 carries for 77 yards and a score with an average of 4.1 yards per carry. A.J. Dillon came in for 5 carries, only for 11 yards and 2.2 for average. Not a very good day for A.J. He wasn't really able to get much of anything going on the ground after showing some promise against Tampa Bay, filling in late after essentially the game was over. But this was an outright stellar game for the player of the game, which is our number one wide receiver, Davante Adams. Good old number 17, 13 catches for 196 yards and 2 scores. Davante Adams was spectacular from start to finish. We knew he was going to have a stellar game as usual, which he is really just a nightmare matchup for most corners in this league. His route running was spectacular. The chemistry between him and Aaron was spectacular. He completed catch after catch, and he was really, really just on. And I am just so happy and grateful that Davante is a part of this Packard organization, even though when we have missed him, we have won games. But he is a very crucial piece to this offense. I will say this day in and day out. And we sure did miss Aaron Jones in the passing game, as not really anybody else was able to do much of anything in the pass game. The next guy in line to get the most amount of yards and catches was Jamaal Williams, 4 catches for 37 yards. Otherwise, there wasn't really much coming from the other guys. Marquez Valdez-Scantling dropped a catch. He dropped a catch on 3rd down, and he just wasn't really on the same page with Aaron today. Robert Tonyan, as that's how you pronounce his name, only held to 2 catches for 32 yards. He was going into this game a little bit hampered with an ankle injury, so I kind of maybe expect him to have a quiet game. But just a really good performance by the offense, and overall, as I pretty much expected. 35 points scored on offense is certainly nothing to sneeze at, and that's all I have to take for the offense. Defensively, we were able to get some we got the blitz dialed up, which was something that was definitely called for, as uh, having this having Mike Pettin just primarily use a whole bunch of zone is something that a lot of the people in the fan base just seem to be hating. I don't really particularly care for zone heavy. I definitely would love to. I definitely want to see more man coverage, and I definitely want to see more blitzes. And when the blitz, and he sent quite a bit of blitzes today, and when the blitzes got home, they were excellent. There was a couple of blitzes that were sent where some of our cornerbacks, namely Chandon Sullivan, kind of whiffed on him, but that's something that can be learned. You can go back and watch the tape, take from that, and then learn from it. There is always time to take the bad, throw it away, and try new things. That's what I believe that the defense was able to do today, as stuffing the run was really something that I was hoping that the Packers were going to be able to do against some lackluster running backs. David Johnson, he only held it to 42 yards, which I think the run defense, that is something that was very, very, this is probably the weakest link of the defense this season has been the run defense. The run defense was stellar today, and I'm proud of the defense for being able to come up in here and hold David Johnson to under 50 yards. And the pass defense, I would have to say, actually did pretty decent. Will Fuller, the number one wide receiver, was held in check for the most of the game. But when you also have other receivers, Randall Cobb and Kenny Stills and Brandon Cooks, that tandem is not easy to stop. You might be able to see some of those guys get some catches and have some pretty good games, because Deshaun Watson does have a lot of weapons at his disposal. And Deshaun had a pretty good game. There was some times where he was able to get some pressure. It was not easy for Deshaun, but he did wind up completing 29 of 39 passes for 309 yards and 2 scores. One of the touchdowns coming in garbage time. So, like I said, I thought this defense definitely could have played cleaner, but it certainly could have been worse. I thought this possibly could have been a shootout of a type of game, as the Houston Texans were actually very good last week against the Titans. The Houston Texans have the makings of an explosive offense. And the big plays were, for the most part, eliminated. A lot of what the yards were given up were a whole bunch of underneath routes to Cooks, to Randall Cobb, and to the running backs David Johnson, and even Duke Johnson was able to get a couple of catches in this game for Houston, and that's a lot of it was just in smaller bunches of yards. So I'll catch you guys later for another video. Go Pack Go.